Hello viewers, Super GT here on F1 2017. We have a new event in the F1 eSports series. Here it is then. We have just had the Spanish Grand Prix and this event takes place in Spain. So we are going to take part as Esteban Ocon. We have to finish in 4th place. Here are the settings I am using. So 100 difficulty, 110 being the max, assists all off. And well, yeah, that's what we're going to go with. Now, of course, I'm not totally a stranger to F1, but I don't always find it easy. So you get these moments, you cut a corner and then you get a warning. That takes massive amount off your score, so you don't really want to have a completed run with a warning at all. And there's these big moments where you go for the slickest drift of all time into the pit lane. And yeah, I just kind of give up. There are a couple of these moments where it just goes wrong because, well, I'm just kind of getting myself acclimatized to F1 again. But here we go. Let's see what we can do for this run. You start off in 6th place and you have to finish in 4th. So there's 2 cars you obviously have to pass, Verline and there's Hulkenberg. There's also Palmer as a back marker you have to get past as well. So you can see they're running wide, get a warning, so obviously not a good start to this attempt, and then onto the main straight, whacking it up to Rich Mix. So you have a little bit there to play with. Now this is the kind of a pivotal part on this, because if it was just 5 clear laps it'd be fairly simple, but then you do have the AI to deal with, and it's not always consistent. Like the place that you meet them on the track is very important. And I mean, Sector 3 is the worst place to meet them around here because it's just, well, you can see what happens there, and I just get frustrated and want to kill Palmer. This is basically what I felt like doing most of the time, backing right off, activating DRS, going to party mode, and then just slam the hell out of him. Now that is a party mode that I can really invest in, and then just murder him into the wall. So here we go then, this is my full run. Now please bear in mind that I am certainly not the best player in the world, or the 2nd best player in the world, or the 3rd best, or anywhere near the actual best. But the idea is just to try and get myself back on terms in the F1 games. I used to play them quite a lot in the past, and mainly adapting from playing on console on the controller to now playing on the PC with the wheel. A little bit different, but it should be better in the long run. So definitely enjoying playing this game on the wheel. So this is the beginning of the run, 62, we're on lap 62 here, 66 laps in total. So you're going to flip between the rich and standard mixtures throughout the run. You can't do the whole thing on you can do the whole thing on standard, you can't do the whole thing on rich. So you do have to kind of pick and choose when you want to use it. So into turn 4, the fast flowing right-hander, then into the left of 5. Now I do really like the 1st and 2nd sectors here. Now the Grand Prix obviously was very, very dull on the most part, the recent Grand Prix around here. But I do actually like driving the circuit. I think it's a very fun circuit to drive. Maybe the last sector isn't as great, but the first 2 are definitely very good. So we've caught up to Palmer, and it looks like he is moving over to the sides. Now as I've said, it's not always consistent. As I go from big lock-up into the hairpin, it's not always consistent with the way that the AI kind of behave. It's not always clear exactly what they're going to do. So you see there he did pull over to the side and let me go. Now sometimes he might do it, sometimes he won't, and it's not always clear exactly why he is or isn't. So sometimes there may be a bit of luck involved, but I think on the best part, on the most part, the best players are going to get the top times. It's not like you can luck into a really good time by just being average and hoping for the best AI. But there we go, up into 5th place, past Verline. Easy move, DRS assisted down the main straight. Probably the best overtaking opportunity on this lap. Of course though, it's easier to pass in this game than it is in real life. So into turn number 4, down 3 gears from 7 to 4. Now we're going to try to catch up with Hulkenberg. You might have just spotted him going around the corner. So we're just going to keep tabs on our gap to him. And you can see him just again there going through the apex of turn 7. So a little bit wide. You can run quite a bit of the artificial material on the inside and outsides of 7 and 8. Over the crest of 9, down towards the hairpin, the beginning of sector 3, braking on the 100-metre board, and then down into second gear, hitting the apex nicely, shifting slightly through this corner. Very easy to lose control as you go through the left kink of 11, then down into the final couple of corners, throwing it right in, going a little bit wide nearly, and then actually a bit wide of the apex of the first part of the chicane, on the power early as we can, and then we're going to put the mixture back up to 3 for the straight to maximise the car's top end down the longest straight, very long straight here at Catalunya. So lap 64, 3 more left to go. Braking on the 100 board, down into 4th gear, through the apex, just coasting momentarily to kind of get the car to turn through the entry of the 3rd corner there. Sometimes going through there flat out doesn't quite work. And a small lock up into the entry of 4, but it's not going to lose us too much time. We are definitely gaining on Hulkenberg on the 100 difficulty here. I have tried 110, but I think it's quite simply above my ability threshold for the moment, but eventually hopefully we will get there. A much better line through the apex of 7 and 8. So you can see they're taking a lot more of the artificial grass, and it seems to help you quite a lot. And being a bit more brave for the apex of 9 is kind of a blind exit, so you can't really see where you're going to drive out towards as you get on the throttle on the apex of 9, but being a bit more brave that time around. Now the thing I noticed in this game, in F1 games, is really about being very smooth on all your inputs, your steering, and especially on the throttle. You do have to be very smooth on the brakes as well, because it is very easy to lock up the tyres, and of course that's not going to help your tyre wear. But the throttle is the main thing, I think. If you can modulate that well, then you're gonna do well on this game. Of course, gear shifts as well. You do have to kind of make sure you get those right. So we got a warning there, kind of a silly one to get, a really silly one to get through the apex off the first corner, just taking a little bit too much curb. So that is going to take off some points from our score. But we are going to continue here. We are catching up with Hulkenberg, but it's only about 1.5 laps left to go, and as we've said, it's not the easiest place to overtake around, so we ideally want to get close to him coming through the final sector, and then we can get a DRS assisted pass down the main straight. So of course I have to get within 1 second. I probably am within a second now over the crest of 9. Then we do have DRS, second DRS zone here at Spain, down the main straight, or down the back straight, sorry, between turns 9 and 10 into the apex. Haven't quite been able to close up enough to get the pass done, but we just have to keep close through the final sector of the circuit. So flipping right just on the end of the curb, brake, and then you're going to throw the car in there basically. Just avoid the massive red curb on the inside of the first apex, onto the power through the final turn. We do have DRS, we're very close indeed, back up to rich mix, whack on the DRS, and we're going to go quite easily past, and there's not a lot he can do about that. So I'm going to go up into 4th place, which is exactly where I need to be. So now, just completing one more lap, just monitoring the fuel mixture as well. So of course we might as well make the absolute most of it. So you want to really maximise your fuel use as much as you can. So if there's rich setting to be used, then you might as well do it to save those vital temps on the leaderboard. So through the turn 4 into turn 5, so getting a little bit better here, although there we go, big lock up on the front left. Going into turn 5, so pushing hard here, trying to get that best possible time that we can through the apex of 7 and 8. Getting a lot better now. See the smoothness coming through into my performance a little bit better, although there's still plenty of room for improvement. Looking into the apex of 10 on the brakes on the 100 metre board into second gear. A couple of corners remaining for the run. How is it going to fare in the world? I'm not sure, but we will have a look in just a moment. Through the apex of 13, and then just a couple of corners left remaining. So nursing the car through there, a little bit wide, big moment. So potentially, and again on the curb, the curbs really do mess you up if you get too much wheel spin when you're on them. And we have crossed the line to finish 4th, which of course would be a really good result for Force India. So let's see the podium. There's Lewis Hamilton there.
Big thank you to all this crowd. I mean, you guys have been amazing.
And we're going to have a look at the result. There it is. So the score 209,000. Is it good? Well, I'm about 400th in the world, which, I mean, it's okay, but then there's less than 2,000 people who have actually entered on PC at the moment. So as for exactly how good they are, I'm yet to know. But let me know your scores, guys. Let me know your thoughts on the Spanish Grand Prix as well. It looks like a big turning point in the season, possibly, although obviously there's still a long way to go. I do hope you enjoyed the video as always. Let me know your thoughts. I shall see you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
Listen.